What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. When y'all come in, make sure that y'all hit that like button. Make sure y'all share. Make sure to post this on all of your social media platforms. I would greatly appreciate it. I know that it's rather earlier than I usually go live, but today I had no other choice but to go live at this time because I have some very important calls that I have to make at the time that I usually would go live, which of course is at 4 o'clock. Let's see, who do we have in here? Shout out to James Square. You posted a comment late last night as if I was about to go live at that time. But shout out to you for being so early. Jamal, Joseph, Wayne, Kung Fu Lee, Jamarius, Blacklight Revelations. A shout out to Blacklight Revelations because they always repost my videos on their community tab. Shout out to you, the My Voice channel, Joy 31608, Letitia, Vincent. What's going on? What's going on? I will fully understand if I do not have a lot of people here this afternoon because, like I said, I usually go live at 4, and I think I might have a bigger pull at 4 o'clock. But I just absolutely could not go live today at 4 because I have some very important calls I have to do at 3 and 4. So I didn't want to do anything later than that, and then I'm probably going to be away from home later on this evening anyway, so it kind of works itself out. And I did want to give y'all something today instead of just leaving y'all hanging, but y'all wouldn't have been left hanging because I would have just uploaded videos on my main channel in its place. But I don't like uploading videos on Fridays. Let's see what's going on. 007 Spidey 2, Vampire Hunter Greg. You said I'm surprised you were going live so early. I told people I just explained to y'all why I'm going live early. And I even put it in my community tab on my main channel that I was going to go live earlier today. Blacklight Revelation says you do great content and work hard. I have no issues sharing your message. I appreciate that. What's going on, Ashen? What's going on, Marie? Vampire Hunter Greg. You said Derek Jackson has to be the topic of discussion. To be honest, he will not be. I absolutely refuse to talk about that on my channel because honestly, I don't care about it. But luckily for you, there are plenty of other channels out there that are talking about this. And honestly, if I was to talk about this whole Derek Jackson situation, I probably would be saying a little bit of the same thing about a good 90% of what everyone else has been saying. But I'm not invested into that. I don't know if y'all saw the address that Professor Black Truth did on his channel last evening, but he was talking about how when people ask him, can he talk about certain topics, he instantly blocks them because he said he does not like doing what you call clout chasing topics. And that Derek Jackson situation would be almost a clout chasing type of topic. It's crazy because like that story just literally spiraled out of control. It's everywhere. It even ended up on ET. Like that story ended up on Entertainment Tonight Canada. I kid you not. When I was scrolling through like watching videos and stuff on the side, that literally ended up in the mainstream media. That's how far that story has gotten. Jamal B said, what about the brother who chin checked Roland Martin? Yeah, that's a good one to talk about. I was debating on whether or not I was going to do a video about it, but since we're live right now, salute to that brother. His name is King Randall. That's what he goes by the name of. And basically, for those of you who don't know, Roland Martin or Roly Poly, he interviewed this I think it's 21, who actually looks 21, because let's be real here, the last couple of 21-year-olds that we have seen in the last week or so look older than 21. This guy actually looks his age. He actually looks younger than 21. But anyway, chalk that up to melanin. He basically, Roland Martin did his whole uppity boule bougie shtick with this young black man who was doing for the community. He said that he was without the help of the government, without the interference of politics and all types of stuff like that. And he was building a school, or built the school, basically a foundation for black boys. And Roland Martin tried to chastise him right there on his show. But that's to be expected out of him. That was to be very expected of him. But I do salute this King Randall individual for doing what he felt that he has to do. And clearly whatever he's doing is working. And Roland Martin, instead of him being so salty about it as if he was a goddamn Auntie Anne Pretzel, he should be congratulating him. Like, not one time in that interview, at least from what I saw or what I gathered, did Roland Martin congratulate him or say thank you. Because see, he's a bought and paid for Negro. He will dance a Jubilee jig with Hillary Clinton all day. But when he's in presence of a black man doing and conducting business, he acts real funny. He did the same thing with Umar Johnson when he used to have his show on TV One, but he couldn't stand on his square going up against Richard Spencer, and that should have been easy for him. Richard Spencer is easy to handle. But Roland Martin, he said he's a Christian man. That's what he said. He didn't check that Cancer Phillips on his show when that actress Anjanae Ellis was defending Nate Parker in Birth of a Nation. He just let her just run off at the mouth. That was one reason why I got turned off from his show, because of that situation right there. And if there was a time when he was out of the studio and she had the host, I did not watch the episode. And I'm glad we don't hear about Cancer Phillips much nowadays, and we haven't heard about her in the last couple of years, and I hope it stays that way. But we know what his thing is. He's trying to get back in good graces with the people that he got fired from when he before he ran over to TV One, and that was CNN. But yeah, hopefully, Roland Martin is going to Roland Martin. And that's nothing. Nothing's going to change about that. However, if anything does need to change, he needs to stop. He needs to switch out his ascot. We know he don't have no neck. Let's see. I think I saw someone else write something in here they wanted me to briefly talk about. All right, Wayne Tillman says, please talk about that PC bitch that called that brother at the bakery in New York a B-ass nigger. And she said it with the hard R too. Yes, she has about 5 black kids and probably doesn't know where the baby daddies are. Well, first off, Wayne Tillman, if you look at a video that Town Biz just recently did, they actually have just recently interviewed the dad. So I actually saw what the dad looks like. I can only see his eyes, like, in part of his face, because he had the face covering on because of the mask and everything. He looks like based on what I can see from his eyes or the structure around his eyes, he looks like a light-skinned black man. I could be wrong, but he had his face covered, so it's kind of hard to tell. But that video was absolutely disturbing, disgusting, and a whole bunch of other things in between. But shout out to Seiji Hito, because he's literally been following this story like step by step. You know how sometimes I pick a story and if I say I'm gonna stay on it, I'm gonna continue to talk about it. He's staying on top of this one. I'm glad that he is, because I was juggling back and forth whether or not I would talk about it on my main channel, but I'm talking about it right now. So basically, yeah, they interviewed the dad. They interviewed the dad on TMZ. I haven't read the interview or seen it or anything like that, but Town Biz did a video about it today where they interviewed the dad. And I'm gonna lead into that. But basically what happened is you had this white woman whose name is, what was her name? Stephanie? I know her last name was Denaro or something like that. It was some Italian sounding last name or something like that. She basically went into this bakery trying, getting her, food or whatever. She got upset because the people working there told her that she had to wear a mask. And then she went into ultimate Karen mode while her kids were there. And then one of the first things people noticed about her kids is that her kids looked like they had a bit of a tan. And you know, when kids have a bit of a tan and they're around a white woman and that's their mother, 9 times out of 10, the father is not white. And we could look at them kids and tell that the dad is definitely not white. So she basically got upset at the guy working in the bagel shop who was a black man, and she called him the N-word, and she said it with the hard ER, and she said it so gracefully. In a way, when I say gracefully, I mean in an aggressive way. She said it as it just rolled off of her tongue as if she said this before. And then, of course, you know, she was recorded and then she ended up going viral. Listen, I don't care if you do something like that to disrespect me at my place of work, my occupation, and I'm gonna have to pretend like I don't work there no more, and you just gonna have to catch these hands. I'm sorry. And the thing is, I think the only thing that kind of held him back from probably snapping on her if he really wanted to is because her kids was there. So she was gonna probably use her kids as a shield. And the thing is, she said that around her kids, and one of her kids started crying in the video. And have you noticed that whenever there is a PC person who goes on a racist tirade with their kids around, the kids start crying? It makes you wonder what it's like for them in the home. Like, to be a fly on the wall to see what that's like, especially if they're a kid that is quote unquote mixed or biracial. Because I like to think that a lot of the kids who are quote unquote biracial or mixed or whatever, if their mindset is the way that it is, I keep thinking back to what is that white parent telling them? Or what is that other parent who is not white not telling them? Or what are they telling them? How are they raising them? Because not every person who is of mixed ethnicity is like that. Colin Kaepernick would be a perfect example. Jesse Williams would be another example. But then you have some like the twirler himself, Christian Walker. Listen, that's a whole nother Twilight Zone within it of itself. But it gets worse from there with her. So it's not enough that she went on this racist tirade and called this black man the N-word, but she also like has a history. Because I looked at Seiji's videos, and this is how I'm speaking on this, because I did not once look up one article about this chick. I was already drained enough as it was. She has a history of doing this. This is not the first time she's done or acted irrational in public with her kids around. Mind you, a lot of the times in the antics that she has been giving off, her kids have always been around. She's hardly ever by herself. But one of the most ridiculous things that has come out is that she says she had the right to say that word because she's black. I watched Seiji's video about that last night, and I saw that title, and I said, wait a minute. Black where? I said, black where? And then apparently they said she pulled up some kind of DNA test she did from Ancestry or 23andMe and whatnot, saying that she was 39% Nigerian or whatever nation that is in Africa. Turns out she stole those results from somebody else and put it out there as her own. That woman is not even any of what she claims to be. She also says that she is part Sicilian, which of course is more of the darker tone Italians. So this woman is just all over the place, and she looks like a meth head. She's a 45 supporter, and she's a psycho. And I don't know what kind of hex or what kind of stuff the father of her children was smoking when he decided to lay up and lay in her. But dude, you need your head examined. And if you're smart, the best thing you can do for your kids is to get them away from her as fast as possible, because she is an unfit mother. And I am in fear for those kids. I'm about to say in fear for those kids, especially with how she has been carrying on for the last, I don't know how many months or years. But yeah, that's the only thing that at this point, that's the only thing that he can really do at this point. Yeah, they did interview the dad, and it's on TMZ. If you go look at Town Biz video about it, he briefly talked about it. Let me see what else are people talking about in here. Blacklight says, can you talk about Bravo canceling of Kenya Moore and Alicia Collins being fired for tweets? I don't know about the Kenya Moore situation. Alicia Collins, is that the one who worked at, was it Vogue? Was that Vogue? What was the one that worked at the magazine? That one I briefly read about, if that's the one you're talking about. Yeah, I see people mentioning the Devontae Hart story. Yeah, that story got me in my feelings. I'll admit it. If y'all was around when I did that video, I don't know if that video was on my main channel or if it was on the other channel that got terminated, but I actually broke down a little bit while recording that video because that was a hard story to follow. Jamaris, you said you heard of this Asian woman telling her people to stop forcing us to ally with them. Is that the one with the Asian chick that was doing, I think it was a TikTok video. Is that the one you're talking about? If that's the one you're talking about, let me see what you respond with first before I give my intake, my input, I should say, about it. Okay, cool. Yeah, I saw Town had did a video about it today. I never actually watched the video. I kept seeing it over and over again on social media, but I never took the time to actually watch it. And then Town had did a video about it, I think today, where he actually played the playback of what she said. You said, oh, her name is Cheyenne Lynn. Okay. Yeah. All I have to say is this. She went in on that video, and I'm gonna be honest. She actually dropped some gems in that video about their history and our history together, as far as what we did to help them get a leg up back in the day, that I didn't even know about. And the Asian Americans, they don't talk about it, but they sure will get in front of the camera. And I'm not saying all of them, but you know who the usual suspects are: Juju Chang and Michelle Malkin, and tell the world that Black people are responsible for the stuff that's going on with them, when that is clearly and evidently not the case. But yeah, I have to give credit where credit is due. She went in on them when she was talking about Frederick Douglass, and it was something like the soldiers in 1942 and everything like that. Of course, Black people again helping other communities out, and then of course we get the short end of the stick. So as you can see, there's a reoccurring pattern there. We've done that with Palm Colored, we've done that with the Hispanic and Latino community, and now it's coming to light. We've done that with the Asian community and probably every other community. But then when it comes time when we need a hand up, not a handout, but a hand up, then we get our hand slapped back in our face. That's why I said now you really have to, if you learn from history, then you know that you need to look out and do for self. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with looking out and doing for self. Sometimes you got to be a little selfish. Oh, Jamal said Kenya Moore dressed up as the true Native. Hold on. True Native American, and these pale frails got mad at her and made her apologize. The same people who are claimed to be $5 Indians. I swear, I've never met a blonde-haired, blue-eyed Native American before. As a matter of fact, Kenya Moore would be a lot closer to Native than they would. What's going on Versatile Legacy? But yeah, they're ridiculous, and they have to know that. They really do. Black Tis says, I thought they didn't care about cultural appropriation. They claim a lot of things. S. Wallace, the Asian lady's name who made that video, her name is Cheyenne Lynn. Crow Black said, did I hear about? I'm going to say this again. I am not going to be talking about the Derrick Jackson story or situation on either channel. Not here or not on the main one. Because I don't care about it. I honestly don't care about that situation. That is a situation for him and his wife and those other women he cheated on her with. What can I do? He's going to have to chalk up the consequences. And see, now the only thing I'll say to this is he's probably most likely hurt his brand behind this for sure. But that's as far as it's going to go for me. It is what it is. God of Harmony, you said I got to quarantine myself for 14 days. You got the woo it, or you got exposed to somebody from it? Jordan Black says she shouldn't have apologized. Well, we know why she did. She got to protect her. She got to protect her coins. It's not like she's sharing Karen Osborne. Oh, you say you don't? Then why you got to quarantine for 14 days? It was another thing I wanted to talk about. Somebody mentioned it, just came up. So y'all know, I'm not sure what state this happened in, but I know what store it happened at. Publix. There was almost another mass shooting. You said your job told you to do it? Oh, wow. I know that's going to be a long 14 days, but look at it this way. It's not like you haven't quarantined before for longer than 14 days. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's been over a year since quarantine began. It is March 26th. Just think about it. This time last year, we were all stuck in the house. Around this time last year, we were all stuck in the house. That's crazy. But anyway, there was almost another mass shooting that occurred at a Publix. But at the last minute, the person who planned to do the mass shooting backed out of it. But when they found him, they said he had a full-blown arsenal of artillery. He was ready to light that place up like it was the 4th of July. What's going on, Think Tank? But he was ready to go in. I said, that's crazy. I'm like, you have a palm-colored male in Georgia shooting up massage, and I put that in quotations, parlors. Then you had one out in Colorado shooting up a grocery store. Then you have another one that was about to do one at a Publix. If they would have came out and said he was 21 too, I'm like, okay, something really strange is going on here where all these people happen to be 21, allegedly, because the two 21-year-olds we've seen so far look older than 21, especially that most recent one. That most recent one, he looks way older than 21. Okay, Jamal said, I think it was in Atlanta. Now that's crazy. Imagine if that happened. That means you would have had 2 mass shootings within a week. that both happened in the state of Georgia in the city of Atlanta, just at two different locations. Yeah, Publix is more of a, I want to say a more southern store because I don't have a Publix here where I'm at. Exactly, solo dog. He said, cough, brothel, cough. Yeah, when they said massage parlor, I was like, is it really a massage parlor? Or is it a disguise for something else? What's going on, Amara? Joy said, did they ever locate Kyle Rittenhouse? Can pigs fly? I'm gonna be honest. I think they know where this boy is at, but they are literally concealing his whereabouts. But yeah, they claim to not know where he's at, but I think they know where he's at. What's going on, Justin? Oh yeah, Jordan. Black, you said there's probably more mass shootings. You want to know why? Because last year, what were we doing? We was in quarantine last year. Nothing could be shot up. So now they got to make up for all the months and days and weeks that they missed out on last year. How ironic that these mass shootings start to kick up exactly a year since quarantine began. Lana said they say it's in the safe house. He probably is. Like I said, I'm very certain they know where he's at. They don't just, you just don't lose a person like that. You don't. They just don't fade into thin air. Wayne says, speaking of Georgia, you see where they brought the Jim Crow voter suppression back to that state yesterday, trying to keep black people away from the polls. And I said they couldn't be more obvious. It's because of what the state of Georgia turning blue this year, last year. That's all it is. If it wasn't for that, they would not be talking about that. Jerome says, voting suppression is a con. How is it we experience voting suppression when black people vote more than 90%? I think voting is a con, period. They already know who they're going to pick. They just have to give people this glimmer of light or the hope that they've actually done something. And then when everything is starting to smooth over, you realize you have nothing. The My Voice channel says, did you watch the Snyder cut of the Justice League? I did not watch it because that's another thing that I was over this month. I'm glad that that whole thing is over. You know, if people liked it, they liked it. If they didn't, they didn't. It is what it is. I'm just ready for Godzilla versus King Kong to come out next week. That's what I'm ready to see. Jim Crow Joe might sign the new crime bill. Well, I know one thing that he just signed, something about the guns, being able to go into people's homes and get their guns or something like that. Palm colored ain't going like that. Or are they going to use that to come after black people's guns? Well, for the black people who do own them. I said this dementia must have been acting up that day. Oh, versus I know you have it because you had told me that you had it, but I said I didn't want it because I didn't plan on watching it, and still don't. I still have a bad taste in my mouth from the one in 2017, so I really don't care. But like I said, for those who out there who watched it and enjoyed it, hey, kudos to you. If you watched it and didn't like it, it is what it is. Blanton says they will riot like the Capitals, but riots, but worse, they might bomb the White House. And if they do, game one. That's all I'm gonna say. Double Sunset. I wish King Godzilla came out today in time my birthday. It's crazy. And well, happy early birthday. It's crazy because that movie was actually supposed to come out the day or the week that they put out the Snyder Cut, but because Snyder Cut had so much push behind it, they released it a week later. So, or are releasing it a week later. So, I can wait. Stephanie said the ratings for Cynthia Erivo movie Genius is flopping. Viewership is under 50%. Good. I didn't plan on watching that crap anyway. I said if I want to watch a movie about Aretha Franklin, I will wait for the one to come out that has Jennifer Hudson in it. And I think if they don't move the dates around, it's supposed to come out in August. So I will go and watch that version because Aretha Franklin said that she wanted Jennifer Hudson to play her. She did not say Cynthia Erivo. Aretha Franklin doesn't know who Cynthia Erivo is. Oh, what well, she was because Aretha Franklin, she's no longer here. Like the one with Cynthia Erivo looks bad, and her face. I'll tell you this: Cynthia Erivo is a bad facial actress. You know how they, when people can do like facial expressions, she's horrible at it. Like bad at facial expressions. What's going on, Tatiana? But yeah, when that movie comes out, the one with Jennifer Hudson, I'll watch that because the trailers that they released for it pulled me in. That's probably why she keeps getting roles, Lauren, because she is like literally saying all the right things. To them, at least, to get her them parts. Stephanie said that her career may be damaged behind this. It is what it is. You said when is Jennifer Hudson version coming out? I think it's coming out in August. Hood Mistress said, "Can we talk about creating our own repellent to fend off these lice heads? I recommend looking up the hogweed plant." What's going on, Janesta? How is your afternoon? Ashton said, "Did you hear about John Legend's wife leaving her Twitter page?" Nope, and I don't care about it either. They got a very strange marriage. That I don't care about that either. It is what it is. The only time I really felt bad for her was when she was in labor and I think she wasn't it that she almost died giving birth. Because like I don't like I always think that's like a sad situation. Either way, if a woman dies giving birth, or if the child dies while she's giving birth. I would never take pleasure in that. He said, I think they ran her off Twitter. Lana Frame said, I hate Chrissy. She's so dumb. I agree. Chrissy Teigen has always given me airhead vibes to me. She's always given me that. KGR said, did you hear about Black Sands Entertainment? That name sounds familiar. It sounds familiar. I'm about to Google that now. It looks like they make animation, like black animation. It looks interesting though. The Black Sands created the Kids to Kings comic. That sounds interesting. And I just looked at the some of the cover arts for the for the for their company, and it looks dope. Uh-oh, Harvey just posted a video, and the title of it says, hold on, let me see if I can find it. And the title reads, Rosie O'Donnell blames black community for Whitney issues, as in Whitney Houston. Oh God. I smell BS afoot. I'll go watch it later. I might talk about it. Marie says, did you hear about Danny Pantaleo? Looks like he isn't getting his old job back. I did. I briefly heard about that, and that's good. He first off, Daniel Pantaleo, you know, they like secretly kept him at that job after he killed Eric Garner when he wasn't even supposed to be there. So he was still like literally getting a pension. He was still getting a check. But that's good to hear and see that he's that he isn't getting his job back. He probably thought, oh, I'm back in the good graces. Are you? But still keep an eye on him though. Jerome says, so did Tim Lohman, Tamir Rice murderer. He actually had worked modified. Yeah. Oh, speaking of that, if y'all listen to this wild story here that I heard about on another channel last night. Speaking of children. So I heard about this story, and I swear when I heard it, I thought it was fake. I had to actually Google it to see if it was real. And it was. Because I thought that someone was making this up. I wanted it to be made up so bad. And we all hear y'all gonna wish it was made up too. There was this 6-year-old black boy. I forgot where the location was. Do you know that he got arrested for picking up a tulip? Let me repeat that. A 6-year-old black boy was at the bus stop and he got arrested for picking up a tulip, a flower. Now, if they can get a child on something as harmless as that, they can get you on anything. When I heard that crap, I was livid. And they said that they had him in court and everything. Cause I think they said they were trying to like reach out to the to his mother or something like that, because that was the only person they talked to. And it was like, instead of them just like take, first off, they shouldn't have detained him for anything, period. And who's to say who he was picking that tulip up for? He could have been like giving that to maybe his mom, a girl that he liked. He was actually in court, and to basically keep him calm when he was in court, because 6-year-olds can get restless, they had to give him like a coloring book and some crowns. What's going on, Mark? Because he didn't know what was going on. He probably didn't even know why he was there. And that's something right there that can mentally mess with you. Because let's say he gets older, like gets in his teenage years, and he starts like, dating. Say Valentine's Day comes around and his girl maybe wants some roses. He may look at a rose and get mentally like turned off because of what happened when he was 6, picking a flower up out of the ground. And mind you, he did not go into a yard. He didn't go into someone's yard and snatch a tulip out of someone's garden. It was a tulip that was literally in the ground that anybody could just scoop up. And even if he did go in someone's yard, that's not a reason to arrest anyone over and put them in court. When I saw that, I said, I literally had to say, are you serious? Me said, he said, did the family countersue? I don't know. Like, I don't know what else has come of this, but the judge ended up dismissing the case because there was no case there. It should have never even made it to the courtroom. It should have never gotten to that point. This right here is the true definition of school to prison pipeline. But she said some of the officials stated that he should be released back to his parent, not to the court. That's right. He should have been sent to, honestly, he wasn't doing anything wrong. But now, as a child, they have traumatized him for life. Because he was doing something so innocent. And it's something he's probably done before. And he's probably like, why is it a bad thing now? Meanwhile, you have PC kids running around here with guns, shooting up schools, and they can enter the building with a gun and start firing off on everybody that they see. And he probably was in that courtroom and was like, I don't know why I'm here, but since they told me I had to be here, that's why I'm here. Joy said they arrested a 6-year-old girl for throwing a tantrum a few years ago. I remember that. I think that was the girl that they ended up arresting. Like if you watched that, I couldn't watch that video more than one time. That was hard to watch. And they put her in cuffs. And then you had some of these sick Negroes out here trying to make a case as to why they did it. Are you kidding me? Well, maybe next time she won't. Shut up. It's crazy because it's like that's what you see them doing to our kids. When's the last time you seen them arrest a white kid for picking a flower out the ground? .007 Spidey Cecil are my Latin fans on the stream. Probably not this one, mainly because I'm on a time restraint And I know if I start letting people on, then people like it can stretch for a long time because I don't plan on being here for so long. Because like I said, I have things I have to do after this. That's why I went live early. But hopefully the next time that I do this, which of course again will be at the end of April, hopefully I won't have any distractions, and then I'll do it then. But I think today I'm gonna do this one by myself, mainly because of time. That's really all it boils down to. No, I mean you don't have to apologize because I saw your comment, but I didn't want to feel like I was ignoring you. What's going on, Susan? Vince, I see more of our kids at a gun range shooting at targets instead of people. Well, number one, I'm glad that we're starting to see more of our kids at a range, period. Because at one time, like you would ask like black parents or whatever, would you take? I remember I asked that question on my Facebook page a couple years ago. Where would you take your child to the gun range? I had a lot of no's, and then I circled back like a year later and asked that same question again, and a lot of those no's turned to yeses because the climate had changed since a year before or a year prior. But a lot of people be thinking that black people don't go to the range. Y'all must have missed the story I did last year where it said gun sales had went up exponentially in the black community. It's just that they don't advertise black people at the range like that. If there is advertisement, it's a lot of self-advertisement, such as when we post videos like on social media of us shooting at a target. And shoot, they get scared and spooked by that. At least our target doesn't move. And if it does, it's usually on paper. Jones said, remember the vid I did last year about what happened with the mod? You talking about the mod Aubrey? I did a few videos about that last year. And speaking of, I need to see what's coming of that, what's going on with that case. Because we haven't really heard much about it because they really talking about Derek Chauvin and whatnot. Speaking of Derek Chauvin, let me go on here and look and see, because I know I'm supposed to be giving y'all an update about that. What's going on with that trial? Because they're trying to keep that hush hush. I see one that says Minnesota National Guard capable and ready for whatever comes during the Derek Chauvin trial. Of course they are. Okay, the most recent thing is they have now have a full jury. The jury for the Derek Chauvin case is now locked in. So now they're getting ready to hopefully go forward with this trial. And then they said something about one wrong ruling could let Derek Chauvin go free. Well, they better make sure they get the right ruling. That's all I'm going to say. I remember the first time I went to the range a few years ago when I had to get my HQL. What a freeing experience that was. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Really enjoyed myself. The first gun I ever shot was a revolver. That was the first gun I ever shot or fired, was a revolver. Hold your own nuts. I agree. They better. If they know what's good for them, they better. Joy said, I watched the first day of jury selection and it was clearly not looking fair or impartial. If y'all remember that questionnaire that I read a couple weeks ago, that lets you know all you needed to know right there of the type of people they were looking for on that trial or for this trial. Hood Mission says California is sadly more strict with laws to own a piece, no license, no weapon, and we can't even carry it concealed. Yeah, Town talks about how strict the gun laws in California are all the time. He said they are locked tight. That's I said if a person who loves to own guns, living out in California is not the best thing for them. That's like moving backwards. You need to go to a gun-friendly state like Texas. I always say Texas is the NRA's favorite state. I'm still blown at the NRA's headquarters in New York. And it's crazy because New York has a very strict gun policy too. But you have the NRA, the National Rifle Association, which literally caters to gun owners and gun owners' rights in that state. Make it make sense. They might as well put it in Cali. Jerome says the fix is in Chauvin will walk. To Jordan's question, I don't know what the makeup of the jury is, but you already know it's probably more white people on there than anything. DeAndre said you can thank Ronald Reagan for those strict gun laws in Cali. Yeah, when he was governor. All I'm gonna say is this: they better tread lightly, and I've been saying this for weeks. They better tread lightly when it comes down to the decision for Derek Chauvin in this case. They don't. Do they not think people are not will not turn up like they did last year? Pinky said, "I'm in New York and my application is pending." Is that to get a gun? Is that what you're trying to do, or get a license? Janesta said, "I noticed off topics how Okra, the Mammy Supreme, doesn't say anything about Michael anymore. That's because black people got in her ass. That's why." Brother Sly says, "In Nevada, a background check takes about 30 minutes, and you get your firearms immediately." Oh wow, now that's real gun friendly because that's fast. That's very fast. That's very fast. I didn't know they could process something that quickly. Hood Mistress says, should Derek Chauvin receive a slap on the wrist? Minneapolis is going to light up in a red hue. Oh yeah, it's going to make what happened in California after Rodney King look like child's play. Jordan says they make it hard for us to carry anything to protect ourselves in New York. And that's it. That's why you'll notice that a lot of places that have the strictest gun laws are the people where they get the most illegal guns. That's why you have a lot of people that be buying their guns out of the back of a trunk. Justin said this trial has setup written all over it. I wouldn't be surprised if the government is anticipating black people to turn possibly with guns in order to completely push this gun law. Well, here's the thing. They needed to tread lightly with them gun laws too, because that gun law, while it may seemingly affect only black people, it'll trickle down to everybody else too. They don't want to take the risk. Notice that also too, every time a mass shooting happens, they always want to talk about gun control and gun reform and all types of stuff like that, but it never goes anywhere. But yeah, they fear black people with a gun. They fear black people with a gun like it is nothing. That's probably one of their biggest fears. But guess what? That shouldn't stop you from still exercising your Second Amendment rights. Shoot, they might have to look on the roofs because it might be someone on the rooftop, and I'm gonna leave it at that. Let him walk out of there. He probably won't get far. He said, Jerome said it's comfortable for these white people to see us vulnerable, unarmed. It gets their rocks off. They don't want to get shot at. It's not a good look. Yeah, because that's open targets. Sitting ducks, as they called it. Joyce said the Derek Chauvin jury is 9 white, 4 black, and 2 POC. I told you. They always do that. They always stack the deck or stack the pool in their favor. But we shall see. We're going to be following this case very closely. A lot of people don't follow the cases all the way through. They wait until it gets to verdict day. Then they follow it. But now we got to follow the whole way through. Hold your own us. They believe taking guns from the citizens will stop shootings, but people would just make their own 3D printing. Yeah, you're right. I always thought that was weird. Like, I'm like, okay, if you take away their guns, you don't think people can't find a way to get more? All they got to do is they got to find a good plug and they good to go. So that's why open carry had a racist approach me and he scurried off when he seen what was on my hip. Yeah, because like I said, they're used to not seeing black people carry. They believe all the laws that was made solely for them. And in most part, it was. That's why they always try to rewrite it in their favor. And then they try to give us specific ones. Joseph Washington said, how's the Falcon and the Winter Soldier? I'm enjoying it so far. This is only episode 2 that came on today, but I'm enjoying it. They really kind of hit home with this recent episode, but I won't spoil it for those who watch it and haven't seen it yet. But y'all, it's 2 o'clock. I'm actually about to get off of here. Like I told you, this was going to be a very short stream. But I actually do have some business that I do have to handle, which is why I went live so early today. But I hope y'all enjoyed the stream, even though it was short. It was kind of like, not the usual time. Probably could have more people if it was my usual time, but it is what it is because they can listen to the playback. But if y'all have not done so already, make sure that y'all subscribe and y'all like the video. If y'all haven't done so already, text the number so y'all can receive notifications every time I upload or go live. If you haven't done so already, which I highly doubt because I think many of you already have, but subscribe to my main channel as well. And with that being said, I will talk to you all tomorrow because that's when I will be uploading my next set of videos.